Hard Mission Monday update. My name is Sue Roscoff, and I am an ambassador here with Project Die Hard. We have lots of great things to share with you tonight, including an amazing guest that is joining us. Before we get there, though, we do have our update, and Brian shared with me a video, a song that he wants me to share with you first. So that's where I'm headed right now. Let's go ahead and get that playing.
I'm a new soul, working my way down an old road. Asphalt churches all around. Roots break through this deep foundation. Can't find my place on solid ground. No one taught me how to let go. Been hanging by a thread on a tightrope, and you can't speak what you don't know, that's for sure. So don't wait up for me. I don't need your searchlight while you're fast asleep. I'm running free, yeah, it's alright. I know you had a plan, but that's not who I am. I don't know where I'll land, but I don't need your searchlight to see anymore. Raindrops fall and they feel like the open ocean. Spider webs shimmer in the dark. These movies play out in slow motion. Cobwebs linger in the heart. No one taught me how to let go. Been hanging by a thread on a tightrope, but you can still learn what you don't know, that's for sure. So don't wait up for me. I don't need your searchlight while you're fast asleep. I'm running free, yeah, it's alright. I know you had a plan, but that's not who I am. I don't know where I land, but I don't need your searchlight to see anymore. I'm a new soul, working my way down an old road. Just looking for a place on solid ground. So don't wait up for me. I don't need your searchlight while you're fast asleep. I'm running free, it's alright. I know you had a plan, but that's not who I am. I don't know where I land, but I don't need your searchlight to see anymore.
All right, everybody, that is a wrap on Searchlight for Shine.
Excellent. So that is our lead in today. I'm going to go ahead and bring in our one and only, our founder and head dude in the room here. Brian Gibson is always with us on Monday nights, and he's always here. Brian, welcome.
Hey, Sue. Thank you. Keep up the great work you're doing. I just got to say that right off the get-go. And to all the people that are tuning in tonight, that song. So what did you think of that? What my meaning behind that song is?
Good question. I actually was just kind of soaking into it. I don't have a solid reaction for you right now.
It's real simple, folks. This is God's plan for the veteran community. All praise and glory goes to God. That's it. That's it. I don't need your spotlight. I don't want your spotlight. I just want your help to make it happen. Sue doesn't want your spotlight. I know she doesn't. That's why she's on the team. If you come here for fame or fortune, I'm sorry, it's just not going to happen. Now, with that being said, we got to get into something, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Because
I know you've been busy. You said you
yeah.
got all sorts of things put together for us here.
All right. First and foremost, the praise. What was last Wednesday? The first Wednesday of the month. The fellowship breakfast. Here's the report. 40 total with 4 first-time veterans. And remember, I only count the first-time veterans. You get these other numbers because people say I got to put them out.
Yep.
Okay. The PDH cost was $370.01. The blessing received was $176. I ain't no math wizard, but I don't know, Sue. Can you do that math? I mean,
Well, I'm gonna say I think the blessings received is more than it often is, but it's still obviously not enough to cover the breakfast. So that's
Hey,
something we
got
are
it.
working on. Anyone out there listening that wants to help that part of the mission, we would really appreciate the support there.
Yeah. All right. May 16th is the facility day. That's our next big event that we do. So this is out there. Hey, kingdom leaders, does your ministry have a bus?
Somebody does.
Somebody has a bus. I'm going to roll back to John 139. Come and see. See where we're going to build buildings and we're going to build things that help veterans. You don't got to agree. Well, no, you don't have to agree with me because it's God's plan. But I service veterans. That's what I do. Why? 26 years as a combat medic. I think I know what they need. Just maybe. Wow, what was that?
I don't know. Something happened upstairs. Oh my gosh. I don't know. I'll find out later.
Well, here we go, folks. The first tractor for the first facility. Crossroads Lawn and Garden is doing their part. As of this morning, we are $225 towards our $8,000 goal.
It's a start. We got a ways to go. So again, we're looking for help. Spread this out there. Share this out there. Social media can do wonders. So if you're watching this right now, please go ahead and hit that share button so that people can see this and help us out, because this is massive to be able to get this tractor on the property. It's going to make such a difference for getting things ready and maintained and all the things.
And here we go. Our annual Fill the Can Challenge. Memorial Day to Independence Day. We've been doing this since 2019. Every year, the biggest fight is to get people to enter. Well, you can't be the champion unless you enter.
Gotta be in to win. And you know what? There's only one number one. I see who's going to be there.
Again, that's the whole key here. The more people that know, the more people will enter. Do I gotta say anything about this slide, Sue? Do you think?
I think the slide just needs a moment so it sinks in. And I see check your vet on there. That we take very, very sincerely. Check your vet. What does that mean? Actually, Brian, what does that mean?
That means every day check your vet. A text is okay. A phone call is better. But the best way to check your vet is face to face. If I could be in 100 million places at one time, I would check my vet every day.
Haven't quite gotten to that cloning stage yet here.
That's why we need volunteers.
Why we need volunteers.
What was that? Matthew 22:14. Many are called, but few are chosen. You want Project Die Hard funds? Then help raise them. It's just that simple. We do this podcast. Check this out. Our guest tonight that Sue's going to introduce, we've talked maybe once or twice on the phone. I met him out in Arizona face to face, and he has done more for this mission than a lot of people that have promised to do. So, Sue, let us bring in our guest.
Oh my gosh. I don't know what's going upstairs. I'm getting a little distracted here. So sorry. I am so excited to get to finally talk with and meet a wonderful gentleman who actually, let's see, that you guys met a couple months back. We'll bring that all up and how you guys connected. But we have KJ Gupta joining us, and I am thrilled to have you here with us. Thank you so much. Come on in. If you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, please.
Yes. Hi, Sue and Brian. Thanks for that wonderful introduction. Yeah, my name is KJ Cookta, and I did get to meet Brian at a charity event out in Arizona in March. He came out when it was actually cool. We got a little bit hotter since then. But I just loved hearing about his mission, and I can't wait to do what I can do to help you guys. So I'm really excited about the partnership, because I believe life is about partnership and helping as many people as you can and making the world a better place.
That's where you fit right in here, and I am so happy to see you here and to get to put a face with a name here tonight too. So when I see under your name it says Wellness Guide, can you tell us what that's all about?
Yes. So let me digress just a little bit. So I'm married, lovely wife, Nancy. We have 3 young adult children. And we've been incredibly blessed many times over. I just think that I'm just grateful for what the Lord has done and for me. But we've had a business for 26 years. It's been a really good business, provided very well for my family. It's in the legal technology space, but I grow a calling, an itch, if you will, that I need to start thinking about the next chapter for me and kind of what I want to do. So I started that business and I really reinvented myself, and I'm going through that phase right now, if you will. For me, I'm reinventing myself, and I love an idea. I'm trying to help people live a great life. really is what it comes down to. And I've the best ideas are often copied, right? So I have a couple of different people that I've met. I've had some great mentors along the way. They believe in being servant leaders and really trying to out there. And when I talk to people and I say, what would it take for you to have a great life? And, there's usually a pause. Some people will say, geez, I haven't thought about it. And I'd urge you, if you're in that camp, to really stop and slow down and think about what you want to do, or what would help you have a great life. But then when they come around, or if other people, they usually are in one of 6 camps. They're either looking for good health. About 63% of Americans have a chronic illness of some sort, at least one, and they're battling that. Another camp is good relationships. Now, I'll put God in there, and I'll put with your family and your friends. So having great relationships is really important for them. Another area that they're at is having sufficient resources so that you can just have a life, right? And hopefully it's free of stress and everything. Although stress is not something you're ever going to go away from. So the other 3 are finding your purpose, time, and it's usually freedom of time. So they have some time to enjoy the simple things of life and smell the roses along the way. And the last one is peace, and it's usually peace of mind. So if they're in one of those 6 categories, I really, and they should be they're usually in one of those 6. I try to listen to them and understand, and I'm constantly looking for solutions and things that I can help people with in each of those 6 areas. And so when I'm doing that, I try to talk with people a lot, because some people I can help, some people can help me. I do believe in doing a lot of networking. I think that's when you have a thriving mentality instead of survival, and you're thinking about abundance rather than scarcity, that you'll attract more blessings. And so from my perspective, that's kind of where it's at. So when I say wellness guide, to answer your question, I consider all those things to kind of be in the wellness area. I mean, it could be your finding your purpose, all 6 of the categories, whether it be, again, good health, relationships, sufficient resources, purpose, time, and freedom. And some people have said, well, aren't you a coach? And I'm like, no, a coach is somebody that you hire and says, give me 10 push-ups, and they hold you to it. And I believe in free will. If somebody comes to me and they say, hey, KJ, I need to go from here to there, I don't know how to get there, or can you help me get there? I'll pick up the load and I'll walk with them, but it's their decision. So I think guide's more apt in describing what I try to do. And I don't know everything. I try and find things. If somebody presents something, I go to people that I know, and I go to my network, and humans are meant to have relationships. And I tap into my network all the time, and I try to find the best resources. And that's a summary. So I'm sorry I talked a little bit long, but that gives you a full picture of what a wellness guide I believe is.
Okay, Sue, I know the follow-on question. How did we meet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Arizona, Dink and Dine pickleball tournament.
Mm-hmm.
That was a big weekend of flurry. And I walk around every booth, and I look to see what could benefit the mission every time I go to those things. And when KJ asked me that question, I do believe my answer was to get my first facility completed so I can save veterans' lives. I think that was my answer of what's my wellness. What's my end goal?
So with that, then you guys sounds like connected quite well right off
Yeah,
the bat.
I would agree with that 100%. Absolutely.
Yeah. KJ, you probably weren't tuning in a couple weeks ago, but the discussions we had, right, there put out the mission that every facility is going to have a wellness center.
Mhm.
I still haven't figured out the official name yet of these things.
Sure.
But I do know all those people we met out there with all those medical things for, right? The policy is if the VA will not touch it, we'll bring it to our facilities.
Good.
I'm open to, if it benefits my brothers and sisters, let's talk. That's all I can ask. But yeah, your discussion out there, that helped form that opinion.
Oh, great. Thank you for that feedback.
Back to you, Sue.
Oh, I was gonna say, I love that. Though, well, and I should ask KJ, where are you from? Where are you working out of?
Well, my wife and I have lived in Phoenix, Arizona since 1994, but we're from the Midwest. I'm from a small town in northeast Nebraska, large family farming community, and everything else, and that's where we're from.
Excellent. Okay, well, so small town, northern Wisconsin, farming community, all the things. So
Sure.
definitely can relate. That's beautiful. And I gotta say, when you come from that kind of background, you have a little different outlook than some folks, and that's where I really
Absolutely.
appreciate what you're saying with helping others. And it truly it's a community. It takes, we can't do it all by ourselves, can we? Having
We,
somebody who can help us out makes a
we,
difference.
we can't, and it was reinforced very early on in my life. My father was the oldest at 12, and we lived in a small town, but my grandparents had a family farm probably about 6 miles away. And in those days, I'm sure I was bouncing off the walls. My mom would let us drive along a busy highway and go out to the farm, and we'd spend a week at a time. And, community was big. They weren't rich by standards, but they always had a lot of food, and they broke bread together and celebrated, and were just grateful for things that they had, and that impression that's what I think communities somewhat are missing nowadays too. So sorry to do a little philosophical on with that, but I think that's what people are thirsting for. They want community, and we're probably more disconnected, which is part of my philosophy. I mean, I have, like I said, 3 young adult children, and they run around with their phones all the time. And, maybe connected to thousands of people, but do you have a real meaningful relationship with them? I mean, that's really that's your community, right,
Oh,
Brian?
you mean like our fellowship breakfast?
Yeah, exactly. Those are
Come
those
and come and break bread with heroes. I put out all the time.
Absolutely.
Just,
Absolutely.
and our facilities. Hey, community, step up. Okay.
Absolutely.
You want to learn something, man? I know a few people that's got some life experience. Come tap into that.
Absolutely. That experience is so important.
But yet, in that same retrospect, you may have never served a day in the military, but, you might have an experience a veteran needs to know about that can give them hope.
Absolutely. Well, I have uncles that served in Vietnam, and other service members that were. I have an uncle that's only a little bit older than me that was in the Navy. from that. I didn't have military service, but I have a lot of friends that are veterans, and I will say that veterans give very selflessly for their country, and obviously we're America 250. We've been around for 250 years, and I remember, I date myself a little bit, but the last big celebration, and obviously the big reason why we're here is because of our veterans to keep us free. And so definitely want to return the favor. They're incredibly valuable, just thinking about all the blessings we have in America. And so very much appreciate the veterans and what they do.
You're talking about dating yourself. Yes, I do remember 1976.
Yep.
It was a good party.
It was a good party. Yeah.
Okay. But in that same retrospect, I've been around the world 1.5 times. Okay. I lived in Germany for a bit, and the back wall of my property, the stone wall, was from the 1500s.
Wow.
I'm just.
That gives perspective.
That is.
I mean, look, the whole world is made up of people. And if people actually cared about people, instead of trying to take advantage of them,
Yep.
then we might actually do some good in this world.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think about my ancestors back in Nebraska from the small towns. They built churches and schools, didn't have a whole lot, but if you open your eyes and look around at what they have done, they weren't veterans necessarily on that, but there have been people in history that have given an awful lot. So we have many blessings, and we kind of take them for granted, for sure.
Mm-hmm. So, well, KJ, I'm kind of curious. Did you have anybody in your life that kind of was in that role of a guide for you? Did that play in at all to where you are going in your direction with your pursuits now?
Yeah, absolutely. I've had many, and they probably didn't call themselves guide, but they were a mentor. Early on, I've had multiple mentors. I just encourage people. Two people I'm really trying to focus on in 2026 are veterans, and then young adults. I think young adults are having something. I did a presentation up at Northern Arizona University, and I just encourage people, they need to seek out mentors, okay, or guides. They have a lot of experience and can help you navigate things and see things more clearly. And I certainly have. I still have, some. I know one gentleman that I always have a great deal of appreciation for. I still keep in contact now. It's not so much a mentor, but he really helped pick me up in when our business was really struggling about 15 or 20 years ago, and helped me change my mindset from being probably negative because things weren't going so well to seeing things and really thinking about it in a positive standpoint. So I have a lot of those types of situations and I do. And I wouldn't be here in this place had I not had the guidance of those folks and, their feedback. So absolutely. And I'll put my mom and my dad in that category too.
Love that. So, and what was it that made you decide that this year you wanted to be what the focuses would be in the veteran community?
Well, had somebody that a good friend of mine that their brother committed suicide, and as I was talking to him and understanding, I got an even better understanding, or at least it started to hit more personally and hit me kind of the challenges they have. And Brian was talking a little bit about hope. and hope is really, really important. And people get despair when they don't have a lot of hope. When you have when you have some glimmer of hope, you can hang on for a while and everything else. And so I just made a decision when I was sitting down and reflecting on 2025, what I wanted to do and who I wanted to help. That was one that the dear Lord influenced me and said, hey, there's people out there that can really use some assistance. So I had decided that was going to be part of my 2026 for me, and what my goals were and what I wanted to do. So when I met Brian, it clicked.
Love that. I mean, that's there's been a lot of things along the way where I truly believe it's the good Lord connecting the right person at the right time and the right place, and that makes
Absolutely.
all the difference.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sue, you wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the Lord. Okay?
Got Yup. You, Kurt, happened to be on the same. Was it a podcast? Was it some kind of an interview that was happening?
Yeah. It was a podcast somewhere. Again, folks, this is why I ask everybody share this mission. Tell the world about us. This is how we grow. Yeah, KJ, man, I get emails all the time. Oh, give me $5,000 and let me market your mission. What part of nonprofit don't they understand?
Yeah.
There are bills to pay that are more practically
Yeah.
needed than that piece. we need the volunteers to help with that.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's the whole thing. That's what people don't understand is, look, folks, when I had the 45 in my mouth and God saved my life, that was 2015. I didn't start Die Hard till 2018. So there's that space and time of God going, okay, I saved him. Let me educate him a little bit. And now okay. And then when the wife of Tempinski called and said he was hanging in the garage, and I went back to my father and went, okay. And then hence, we're here now today. Okay. Look, folks, Forward Operating Base Rush is just the first facility. Get it straight.
Isn't it weird how small little choices, and you have to make them, things that seemingly insignificant. Sometimes they're significant, like your experience you were describing when you had your 45. But other small choices, and you intersect with people. And I almost didn't go to that event in March. I don't know why, but I felt the need. And so you talked about your chance meeting with Sue. It's really about that. But the big thing is you have to get off the couch. You have to get out and meet people, because that's when the great stuff happens, right? It doesn't happen alone in the dark.
Yeah, well, and I love technology, but it doesn't happen here either.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. This is great. We get to outreach. I get to reach veterans worldwide
All right.
to say, hey, don't give up. You got this. But that still doesn't replace the face-to-face interaction that a human being needs.
Absolutely.
Okay. And again, that's what our facilities are for, in the veteran community. A place to gather. Everybody gets wrapped around this 12 single veterans and 2 veterans with their families. within the big scheme of the operation, that transitional housing is maybe about that big. That's just
Hope starts at that size, but then it grows exponentially. But it takes the first. It's just like the name of my organization is a botanical name. It's called Brasiliensia, and that is the botanical name for mustard. Okay, so from a biblical standpoint, you have the mustard seed, but if you want to be, mustard seed is the smallest plant or seed you'll plant in the garden, but it takes water and cultivation and sunlight and nutrients. And it grows to the largest plant in the garden if with proper care. And so hope starts like that, Brian. And we that's where we have to, continue to water, to cultivate it, to do the different things that we need to do. So,
again, that
same thing
is
with our wellness. It could be your health, it could be your mental wellness, it could be your relationship with God. It starts small. You're not going to have a St. Saul, road to Damascus moment where you're going to get struck down in big dramatic fair, and like Hollywood wants us to believe. It takes small decisions. That's where it starts.
Again, every day there are decisions that need to be made within my organization. Some are just automatic, right? If you talk to us about removing God from the mission, you're blocked instantly. I have no time for that. Okay. And there's some decisions I don't even interact with because I have my team behind me and they know the standards and they know that, hey, you know what? This isn't going to fly with Brian. I'm not, brother, don't even waste your time.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, brother, you're on this podcast. What? You're helping. And Luke 3:11 tells me to share my blessings, the blessings you're bringing to this mission. Look, brothers, sisters, reach out to KJ. Reach out. Have that discussion. What's your wellness? I don't have all the answers. He doesn't have all the answers, but you know what? Together, we can make some pretty informed ones.
Absolutely.
Oh, Sue, how do they reach out to you?
Ooh, I've got this really cool email, susan@projectdiehard.org. So super easy. Oh, and you know what? I put Sue in my, on that side. I usually say Susan on there for that reason. susan@projectdiehard.org. And actually, KJ, what's your website? How do people reach out to you?
Well, in my second business, I have an electronic card. If you want me to flash it up there on the screen, I can put it up there on the screen, and I'll give you my cell phone number and my email address if you like. Would you like me to try and share it?
Oh, feel free, brother. That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
Okay, great. I am going to share it with you, and I just encourage people if they would like to connect with me. Can you see that up there?
Let me add that in here. Excellent. Yes.
Okay, it's got my name on there, my direct phone number. If I can help any of you, there's my email address. If you click that QR code, you're going to get to a website for a company called Melaleuca. I'm partnering with them. They're just a phenomenal company that espouses all those values. And it's one of my partners that I work, and I just really can't talk enough about it. But that's my contact information up there. You'll see a picture of my wife that I'm so grateful for. We had Mother's Day, and so that is how you reach me, if you would. That's the best way to do that.
Perfect. I scan the code and it pops right up with that exactly what I'm seeing on the screen. So
yep, and then you have my contact information. If you save it there, it'll be loaded into your address book, and then you can reach out to me anytime you have questions.
Excellent. I love it. And I got to say, we use Melaleuca too. I love the products. 100%.
It
Good
is, and
stuff.
it actually has a lot of other things. I think we'll see a lot of other people that use it for. It actually can check the 6 categories we talked about. It actually can have an impact in all 6, although there's other things that we want to do. But really a great company. So anyway, thank you for letting me share that. That's my contact information. If I can ever be of assistance for anybody, please let me know. I mean, I try to help people as much as I possibly can, and I think that's how blessings are returned back to everybody, and you pay it forward. I can't remember. There's a story that I always liked. One of my favorite at a particular traveling time for me, I really struggled out of college, and it's not the same. Everybody's struggle is different. So my mom always wanted me to, make sure I read books. So I don't know if you read books. A lot of people don't want to do it, but there's an author called Zig Ziglar, and a lot of people have heard Zig, and I think it was in one of his stories. I think it was at See You at the Top, and at least this is my interpretation. So I'm going to share that with you if you don't mind. But it just goes, and the way the story goes, a person died and they went to heaven, and they were standing at the gates of heaven, and this wouldn't happen. But St. Peter said, "Hey, where would you like to go, heaven or hell?" And the guy's like, "Well, can I see both of them? I'd like to kind of see both of them." And it's make believe, but it does the point. So he took this gentleman down to hell, and he goes into this huge banquet room with the devil there, and all the people are sitting around. The banquet table is full of food, but the mood is dour. Everybody is grumpy and upset and everything else. And, he's like, okay, I'm ready to go see heaven. So he took him up to heaven. Same exact picture, but it was a celebration. Everybody was jovial. They were happy. And he goes to St. Peter and he says, I don't know there's a difference, but I don't know what's the difference. And he said, did you look at the forks? And he said, what do you mean? He said, well, the forks are 2 foot tall. When you're grabbing the food and you can't get a 2 foot fork in your mouth, they were all feeding each other in heaven, but in hell, they were trying to eat for themselves. And to me, that always had made an impression, because when you're helping other people, they in turn will help you. Not everybody. Some people are takers, 100% takers, but a lot of the people that give, are there, and that's your true people that you want to associate with too. That's what it is. But a lot of people are in that rat race, and they think they have to get theirs because nobody's going to help them. So we just want to help more people, and that's the world I want to live in. That's why I raise my kids, my grandkids, and everybody in. So, again, I love that story, because I think that's an epitome of what it is. Brian, you're laughing, so I'm sorry I got a little verbose or kind of too funny.
It's awesome.
I got books in here on like Who Stole My Cheese.
Sure.
I'm very well read, but I'm not going to lie, folks. There's one book.
Yes. Absolutely.
That's it. That's the only book that matters to me. All the rest is good to read because knowledge is power.
Sure.
That book tells me to seek knowledge.
Well, it's got a lot of great knowledge too, if you'll actually listen to it and put it to practice.
Yeah, it does. That's why it will never leave the mission.
And actually, have you shared the rules with KJ? I don't know if that was something you guys had a chance to cover.
I don't know. Did I break the rules? I hope I didn't.
Oh, no.
No, brother. I know I told you the rules, but just for the audience's sake, let's go through them once again. Rule number 1, God will never leave this mission. Don't ask. Okay. If I'm willing to turn down $2 million and lose a very good friend over that decision, I'm good with it. Second, we will never use the suffering of veterans for profit. When a veteran is ready to tell their story, we will use every opportunity that we have to help them do that. Not before. Don't ask.
Right.
And third, no drugs or alcohol allowed in the mission. Okay? What you do on your time is your time. But that book tells me not to lead my brother into temptation.
Absolutely.
So those are the 3 rules that if you break one of those, may God have mercy on your soul.
Thanks for the refresher.
Brother, I like to tell people, you don't have to talk to me at all. You don't. Break one of those 3 rules, and you will talk with me.
And it's all good. You know, that having the rules in place makes it so that we are all playing on the same playground, and those that choose to not play on that playground, that's fine. But
Absolutely.
we're looking for folks who want to hop on board, and I like to say that over and over, because that we truly are. We're looking to grow. We need to grow, because the more people that know about Project Die Hard and what's happening here, the better. Because I hate to even bring it up, but I'm going to, because Brian, you said that you were notified last night of how many that have lost their, was it, no?
Not last night. Saturday
night. The day
Saturday.
leading into Mother's Day.
Leading into Mother's Day. Yeah, I know I had to do a Mother's Day message. It's on our social media. It's out there. I'm very thankful to all the mothers out there. You know, we wouldn't be around without them.
Absolutely.
Funny thing. But I'm compiling my message, and then I normally don't do that on a Sunday morning. I wait till like afternoon to open that email, but I did. And I got notified of 3 mothers that are going to have a very bad day on Mother's Day because their veterans were the demons.
For me, that one's hard to take. that's a. I mean, any one that is lost is too many. But now, when you put that in perspective of, okay, that was leading into Mother's Day, and how many lose their fight, you know, on any given holiday or whatever that day is, and now that is associated with that for everyone around them forever. And it's hard enough to lose somebody, and that just, as a mom, that takes me to another perspective.
Well, again, Sue, interject here because you know what? I'm not a mother. I'm a father, and you know, I look. People complain to me, Brian, you're so cold when it comes to death. I was a combat medic for 26 years. What do you want more out of me? I've seen death up front and forward. But yeah, Sue, I want you to interject on the mother's side of the house. You know, that's just got to be terrible as a mother. You carried this person, you raised this person. There's got to be that special bond there.
Oh yeah, I can't even imagine. I mean, I remember the days before I was a mom thinking, oh, I know what other parents are, oh, they're messing things up. I know better. Everybody gets to feel, you think you're an expert at something until you actually do it. And then it's like, oh, yeah, different perspective. That's like what you're saying as a medic, and knowing as a medic, as a veteran, what your fellow veterans need. Having been there, having that association makes a difference. I'm not a vet. I don't have that piece. I was an EMT, so I can somewhat relate to the medic side. There's pieces along the way, and that's where we're all connected somehow, right? There's different pieces. We all bring our own experience and our own backgrounds, but that is something that, as a mom, I can't even imagine what that must have been like to get the call of, wait, what? There's nothing worse than burying a child, and I have not experienced that. Praise the Lord for that. And that is something that no one should have to do.
Well,
Especially,
and again, folks, if you follow us on Facebook, if you go to our groups, we have a private group out there. It's called Project I Heard Families. And that is only for families who have lost their veteran to the demons. Okay? The only interaction I do with that group is I'm the only one who can approve or disapprove if you're joining. Besides that, that's your group. I tell everybody, if you find anybody soliciting in that group, report them immediately. Because that's not what it's for. That is for the families to support one another.
I think it's good to have that reminder that group exists, because I'm not in that group. I kind of forget about that's out there. So that's very good to share out and make sure that's a resource. I'm sad that it has to exist, but my goodness, that's so needed. Well, and I know we are coming close to the end here. I want to come back and ask Cage. I want to ask you too, with where you are here in our midst with Project Die Hard. What kind of a role do you potentially see with us? How do you? What is your impressions at this point of possibilities?
Sure. Well, I love what Brian is doing and everything that Project Die Hard stands for. I'm going to make a comment, I guess, and that the secular society wants to tell us that we don't need God, and that you can handle it on your own. And do different things. So I just love that what Brian has done and how he has standing up for his belief and everything else. And what I'm trying to do is make sure that I understand how I can help Brian accomplish his mission. I mean, there's no greater. There'll be a lot of satisfaction for me to know that I can help him in any way. So I'm constantly thinking about how I can help Brian accomplish his mission. I've had some different thoughts after this podcast. I'm going to make a couple of phone calls. I have some people that I hadn't thought about, and that's the whole secret of it, from my perspective. Because the more interaction you have with people, and you have a genuine understanding of what they do and their hopes and their dreams, and how you can help them reach their hopes and their dreams and accomplish their mission, the more you can bring into play the different aspects of what you can do to help them. And so I'm looking forward to learning more, introducing people to Brian that can help him accomplish his mission, and I'll do whatever I can to support Brian and veterans. I mean, make that transition from active duty to civilian life, because I do think I had some uniqueness, as we mentioned, that first situation, or where people have a hard time making that transition because it's not the same values that you have, your brotherhood or sisterhood of in the military service. It's out there. It's a little bit different, but it's out there. And good people find good people, right? They
Oh yeah.
attract. That's what I'm trying to do because I think the world of Brian and his mission. So that's really where my role is at, and how I can do that. I love to help. I behind the scenes probably is even more. I'm not. Um, Go back to my upbringing, large German community. That you don't think about your stuff. You think about how you can help people. You put your nose down. You get to work. You do things that you can do to help and make a difference. And that's really where I'm at. Love to be able to do that and just have the satisfaction of knowing I can help Brian and Die Hard become a huge success.
Awesome. I love that. And I think Brian froze there for a moment and he just fell off. I think he's coming back now, but that is absolutely in line with my background, all the things with what you just said. So I really appreciate those words and welcome back, Brian.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, everything went freeze and everything rebooted. I
It's all
hate
good.
technology. I hate technology at times.
Well, you're just in time for our, at the end, every time when we come here, we do end our time together with a word of hope for our veterans. And now I'm also going to say, KJ, if there's any last message you want to share, I'll pass it to you first so that you can, any other thoughts you had you wanted to make sure to share out before we're done. And then if you want to share just your message of hope for our vets.
Absolutely. So just realize, I mean, if you're in a dark spot, there are people in the world, and it can be a kind of a dark place, but there are a lot of people out there that are looking to bring hope and be helpful. Ask for help. That really is the biggest thing that I think that are out there. If you're in a dark place too, also consider small acts of kindness for other people. That actually opens the door. So one of the challenges that one of the things that my mom, who's still alive, I love it to there, and she would always reinforce, and I'll leave this as my final message is, and when you're concerned or you don't have hope, give hope to somebody else. Be kind to do those things, because then you stop thinking about your problems. You brought some new light into the world and helped other people. And in the cosmic universe, the dear Lord will make sure and return those blessings to you tenfold. So that would be my message that I would end on.
Excellent. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And Brian, I'm going to pass it over to you.
All right, folks, brothers, sisters, you're feeling pain. I got it. Mental, physical, spiritual pain. You got it. I got it. But remember, if you can feel pain, you're alive. And if you're alive, you can fight. Okay? I had an old beat up Vietnam veteran instructor teach me that one. If you're alive, if you feel pain, you're alive. And if you're alive, you can fight. Fight every day. Don't give up. Fight every day. You need some help along the way? Reach out. We'll do our best. That's all I can promise you, man, is to do my best. But don't quit. All right, back to you, Sue.
Amen.
You guys are amazing. And my word is always, you're here for a reason. God's not done with you yet. If need some help along the way, that's what we're here for. What a great community. And we get to introduce someone as wonderful as KJ here, a wellness guide. I mean, he can help too. We're all here. We are absolutely behind you 100% of the way, whatever you need. So don't forget, people have your back. And we are here every Monday night. I look forward to those joining us again next week. Every Monday, you get that update from us here with Project Die Hard Mission Monday Update, 6:30 p.m. Central. And for all of us here with Project Die Hard, as always, we thank you.